And I was like, oh, yeah. She was like, you don't look 30. I was like, yeah, black don't crack.
Yeah.
Black don't crack, which is just a simple thing to say to
True.
explain possibly why I always look this age.
Right.
And she was like, at that moment, she was like, what? Wait, what? Tell me more. What? She's like, you're black? I was like, yeah, half. I mean,
yeah.
And that was the thing. And then we had this long conversation, and it was like our entire relationship shifted a little bit. It was very...
She's suddenly attracted to you because you're black?
It's possible.
That's weird.
It does happen.
Really?
It's unusual. Welcome once again to No Snark, where two former religious types and current snarks take a look at religious media on its own terms.
My name is Hillary.
And I am Josh, a.k.a. Moby Dick.
I know. I can't wait to find out what that has to do with this at all.
That's right. They're always related.
Yeah.
Now, really quick, and this is always a part we take out if there's nothing to be said, but anything from last week or a previous episode you want to do in our hit and misses section?
Yes, actually. During our Touched by an Angel episode, I was referencing the movie Field of Dreams, but called it Angels in the Outfield because I was tired and maybe a full beer in at that point. So I'm not a moron. I know my baseball movies.
I've only seen Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, really?
Of those two movies.
They're both great movies.
I've never seen
Field of Dreams is better.
I know the If You Build It, They Will Come.
Right.
That's it.
But like the baseball player is like walking into the cornfield and disappearing. Is like that was the imagery that I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
As I listened to it, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I probably just went along with it at the time because I was like, whatever she's talking about, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part from Angels in the Outfield, but that's fine.
I mean, how long has it been?
Oh, because we were talking about the baseball episode.
Right.
I was probably relating it to the fact that Monica cheated. And she made the dove.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And Angels in the Outfield was about angels cheating at baseball.
Also true. Yeah.
I probably...
Which there is a draw... Yeah, there's a connection to be made. It was just the incorrect one.
Right.
So my bad.
So, Hillary, you want to tell us what we're doing today?
We are doing a new piece of garbage called the Omega Code. New garbage every week, brought to you live.
Not on purpose. I just choose things. Some of them are good. Touched by an Angel.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked it.
I enjoyed that.
VeggieTales.
Always good.
Liked it. Kind of cute, kind of fun.
Yep, and that's it. That's the whole list.
That's the list of things we've enjoyed so far. The Untouchable. What is it?
Unconditional.
Unconditional was fine.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
It was...
It was not.
Yeah, you're right. It was not. It was just so... Everyone was so stupid.
I know. It was frustrating. At least it had quality. Like, it had production quality. This did not.
Yeah, okay. So
this was somewhere between... oh my god. What's the first series we did? Left Behind. This is some... Quality-wise, this is somewhere between Left Behind...
100%.
And Unconditional, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Unconditional is a movie...
Much closer to Left Behind.
So, for anyone who doesn't know what this movie is, and boy, should you not, you remember Casper Van Dien, right?
Yeah, sure. Everyone does.
Starship Troopers, Beastmaster 3, Avengers Grimm, Starship Troopers 3.
Just Starship Troopers. There's no reason to mention anything else he's ever been in.
Big movies.
Yeah, sure.
Then there's Catherine Oxenberg.
Don't know who she is.
She's from Dynasty.
Nope, don't care.
Watch Over Me.
Nope.
Some show that was on for a while, and Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf.
Well, there's something I'm missing in my life. Let's add that to a list of some sort.
And then there's Michael Ironside. And you remember him from Starship Troopers, the bad guy from the Hilary Swank Karate Kid movie, and the bad guy from the famous Jet Jackson movie.
By that you mean, I don't know who this is. Who I did know was Michael York, however.
I don't know that person, tell me.
He was Basil Exposition in Austin Powers.
Right.
Yes.
I did see that.
I love him.
But I don't remember Basil Exposition very much.
Basil Exposition, yeah.
I know that part, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. And Michael York of Basil Exposition fame.
In my opinion, the biggest name here.
Anyway, these 3 or 4 have united to save the world from biblical prophecy in this movie, Omega Code. Among the many things we need to watch out for is we're analyzing the chemistry of Caspar Van Dien and Catherine Oxenberg because they had a new relationship at this point and got married before this movie was released, although I believe after it was filmed.
Okay, you know what? I remember you now telling me to pay attention to that. Guess who forgot about all of that?
That's fine.
Also, which one's she?
She's the blonde.
Isn't his wife blonde? It was a wife?
She's like brown, but not his wife. The not wife.
Okay, like the reporter person. Yeah. Okay. Wait, and Caspar Van Dien?
Yeah,
okay.
The main character.
Gotcha.
So are you ready for some thrilling Bible code action?
I've already been here. I would love some thrilling Bible code action. I wish it existed.
So first, let's do our first impressions. What did you think about going in?
Yeah.
What did you end up with?
I watched it this morning. I was cranky and tired. And then I remained cranky and tired until the end. With 2 mini naps. Yeah. Also sprinkled throughout.
Did you think it was going to be any good?
No.
So you weren't shocked? You were
not
just
at all.
annoyed?
I was just hoping it looked better, and it didn't. It was, garbage.
Are you at all familiar with the concept of the Bible code?
Only because of you. I had never heard of it before.
Okay, because we talked about it briefly last week.
Yeah, it sounds like something that would anger me as much as The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
You know, The Secret? Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is infuriating because it's just people desperately trying to find some magic in the world.
Right. So I'm going to talk about it really briefly because not everyone listens to every episode, although you're missing out, obviously.
Not yet. They'll catch up.
They'll catch up. So the Bible code is a basic concept. Let me explain it really briefly in the movie. You take the Bible or the Torah or whatever you want to call it, whatever section you're using. You type out all the words. You leave out the spaces and punctuation. And then you use a computer program to skip certain numbers of letters at a time. Yeah. So let's say 8.
Can we say they're arbitrary?
Oh, it's completely arbitrary.
Yeah.
Because you can choose any sequence of numbers.
Right.
But the idea is you'll find words.
Yeah.
And there'll be
prophecies.
So you find words. You try to find related words. And then you end up with a bunch of stuff that you can then claim was a message sent to you from God, presumably, or some other source. So in the movie, so
it's letter by letter, though, not word by word, right? They're not like, is it a whole word that they're like counting like the 7th word or the 7th letter?
They do letters.
That's what I thought. So you can literally do that with the alphabet.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's this idea that if you find things that are related, then clearly this is some sort of secret message. They claim that you can do it with Hitler.
Right.
You can do it with Princess Diana, and the movie comes up. I've heard claims you could do it with the election.
Yeah.
This was back when Bush was in office, so I think the Bush-Kerry election was the one in question.
They could probably do it with the reverse.
I just haven't heard it. Haven't heard it. Yeah, possibly,
definitely.
And then there's
random letters,
and then there's claims that you could do it with the future as well. If you knew what to look for, you'd find the future. That's the premise of the Bible code. It's an absurd premise.
It is.
It's really silly. It's wide open to interpretation as is. Mm-hmm. And my especially most relevant point against the Bible code is that you can do it with any book that's sufficiently long, including
Harry Potter.
Moby Dick.
Oh, there it is.
But Harry Potter, yeah. Like, if you took the whole series of Harry Potter, put out all the letters, took out all the punctuation and spaces, and then did this, guarantee you'd find, like, stuff that would blow your fucking mind.
Yeah, probably.
So that's really the best thing to know about this movie. It's based on an absurd premise, but some people believe it for whatever silly reason.
Because people are desperate to find magic in the world.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
I guess I get that.
So I'll always be attracted to paganism and, like, the occult and stuff like that.
Literal magic.
It's not because I actually believe in it. It's because I just wish.
Right. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah. It'd be
if only
rad
Thor was
if there
real.
was magic anywhere in the world.
Yeah. And that's the premise of the movie. My first impression as far as that goes is I bought this movie on purpose because I saw it and I was like, oh, this is going to be horrible.
Yep.
Because
thanks, Goodwill.
And I'm going to be honest, part of that's because Caspar Van Dien's in it and he has not made except one good movie in his life.
It's true.
Starship Troopers.
And that is debatable.
It is debatable. If someone doesn't like Starship Troopers, it's not really a flaw in them.
Right.
It's not appreciating how absurd it is. So we're done with the first impressions. So let's talk about the first thing that happens when you hit play after you get to the title screen of this movie.
I don't remember.
They played fucking trailers for other movies. I
thought that's what happened!
Yeah.
It took me Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
No.
But it was, yeah, you're right. It wasn't like leading up to the opening screen. It was after you pushed play on the movie part, and I was like, oh, did I do this? Like, did I choose these? And they were terrible looking movies.
Oh, I know.
God, those trailers.
I did.
I want to watch Joyriders.
I was going to say, I did find out that Martin Landau made a Christian movie, though, so that
With
might be.
Elizabeth Moss. Did you see her in there?
No.
She's one of the girls in the car.
So this might have to be a thing.
We have to find it.
Elizabeth Moss is from Handmaid's Tale, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mad Men, more importantly.
I'm watching Handmaid's Tale.
Are you?
Yeah, right now.
Just couldn't keep going with it.
Because it's bumming you out?
So fucking bleak.
I realized I spent too much time on the internet when I started watching Handmaid's Tale. Because most of the ideas that are presented in there are nothing I haven't heard already.
Right.
In a way that I was like, I was upset with myself for being so comfortable with how fucking horrible it all was.
Yeah, but, it's like...
Like, obviously I'm not comfortable, like, we should do it. But I'm just... None of the ideas that have been presented, which I feel like are at least a shock to most people's systems, because they may not be...
Yeah, I don't consider it a shock at all. I'm like, this is just, like, a highlighted version of our reality, or what could be our reality.
Yeah, I could be wrong, I don't know.
But at the same time, it was like, it wasn't about shocking. It's like, there's literally nothing, there's no light, there's no hope.
No, that part I get. That's part's true.
Yeah, but also it's just like, I don't have a lot of free time. I don't want to feel like this when I already feel like this. I need something that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just really confused by the fact that this movie starts with ads after that you hit play for the movie.
Right.
But that's fine.
Do you think it's just like early DVD days before they knew how to...
I honestly think they made a mistake.
You think so?
And put them in the wrong place.
And they don't have enough money to fix it.
Yeah, they just didn't bother. Or this might be like the first edition before they fixed it.
Possibly.
Do you know the movie Transmorphers?
No.
It's for one of those asylum movies. It's supposed to be like shitty Transformers.
Okay.
Transmorphers. I've seen it. There are 2 versions of this movie released on DVD.
Uh-huh.
In the first version, they forgot to put in the special effects.
Are you serious? It went to print without special effects?
Someone
got fired.
They ran the wrong version of the movie onto the DVD, released thousands of these, and then we're like, oh shit, we have to fix it. So, but I remember watching the movie, and there's people with laser guns, and they're shooting at the Transmorphers, and they're just doing this with the guns, rocking back and forth as though they're shooting.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. There's no laser out of a gun. And I'm watching this movie.
You hear one of the guys off camera going like, pew, pew, pew.
No, nothing like that. But I'm just like, what is going on in this movie? Like, it's already bad. Yeah. And we watched it because it was really bad. But I was like, what the fuck? And then I looked it up, and it turns out that we had a copy but didn't have the right cut on it.
Oh, that's amazing. Maybe that'll be worth money one day.
I was astounded.
With his rare finds.
Yeah. So I think that might be what happened.
Sure. Yeah, whatever. But this is much, much less serious mistake than that.
But the Omega Code begins properly, finally, with a text introduction. Throughout the ages, man has pillaged Jerusalem's ancient artifacts in search of supernatural power. That quest continues as scholars seek to unlock one of the most mysterious relics of all, the Bible Code. A mathematical phenomenon whose hidden messages are said to contain the whole of human history. Yet now, some are using the latest technology to scour the Bible Code for an even darker secret, the key to Jerusalem.
Yeah,
For it has been foretold in the apocalyptic books of Daniel and Revelation that he who controls Jerusalem in the last days will control the world.
I think they very loosely use that word phenomenon. That's a broad definition of phenomenon.
Mathematical phenomenon that you can do in Moby Dick, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones.
Yes, I can also say random numbers. I'm also good at jumbles, so it doesn't even matter how the letters come to you. Mm-hmm. I can find a word in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our first proper shot of the movie is in Jerusalem, where our rabbi studies, and he takes in-depth notes, as we see Michael Ironside in a big fake beard dressed in all-black Jewish-looking garb. He's walking in an alley, which from this point forward in the movie will represent Jerusalem.
Right.
It's every
You're right.
scene that takes place in Jerusalem is in this one alley.
Very good point.
It's the strangest fucking... Like, you only know you're in Jerusalem because you're in the same location.
If you didn't think that they were low budget before, they could afford one hallway. Or one
outside alley.
One side street, whatever.
It was so weird.
Yeah, we get our first introduction to magic.
Oh, is it here?
Yeah, when the guys just can disappear and reappear.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Michael Ironside is playing the role of Dominic. I will call him Dominic. And the rabbi, as he's taking the notes, is a little on edge, and he's looking around, and Dominic seems to be approaching his location. On his laptop, the rabbi has managed to decode a message. This is him using the Bible code. Rostenberg, finder of the key, gone to God, sunrise 4th of AV. So he tears the page out of his notebook, and he puts it in a shirt suspiciously before a laser fight works its way up his body, starting in his...
Laser fight? Just leave it. Laser fight erupts. Before a laser sight works its way up his body, starting at his penis, I think? I think so,
yeah. In his crotch.
Do you think that was the first thought? Or like, I'm gonna shoot him in the dick.
Shoot him in the dick. But he watches it really slowly work his way up to his chest, then he gets shot in the chest.
Yeah, which the whole thing about, like, laser sights like that, people don't usually know they're on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess if it starts on your dick, you're like, whoa! What's the red light on my dick?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they don't burn or anything.
Right, no.
I guess you can notice them. But also, if you're trying
else
to
can
be...
see you, not so you can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very strange.
It is, anyway.
Yeah, he gets shot in the face. And by face, of course, I mean chest. But as we've previously discussed,
you cannot say another body part.
Everyone gets shot in the face.
Okay.
In my world.
I've adapted to this.
And Dominic has arrived. We realize that he's the shooter. He takes all the rabbi's notes and research before he heads out, where we now see two fellows of the rabbi find his dead body. And they seem very calm. Mm-hmm. Let's be clear. There's no dialogue in this movie up to now. There's not any dialogue for a long time. But they find him and they're just like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Very, very, very minimal blood, too, for being shot in the heart.
I know.
Yeah.
But they follow Dominic outside, all wordlessly. And he tries to escape as he sees them, sort of following him. But then one of them appears before him, so he turns around. There's another one right in front of him. He turns around. The other guy's real close to him all of a sudden. And they drive him into an alley, basically.
Right.
The only alley they can film in.
Right. For what we'll find out soon is literally no reason. Go on.
Trapped between them, Dominic takes a singular child that was just hanging out in the street.
Yeah. And
he grabs her and he holds her hostage. And the two men insist that Dominic let her go before he tries to shoot them, but his gun fails to work.
Magic.
Magic, baby. I assumed they were angels at this time. We will find out later they are not.
They're prophets.
They're prophets. So,
still,
but
they just look like your dad's friends. Like, they're just like
100%.
two just middle-aged white guys.
Yeah, they look 100% like your dad's friends. They are prophets, but essentially they have superpowers anyway. They're not angels, but they're powered by God, so what's the difference?
Yeah.
They
definitely like Steely Dan.
Yeah. Stupid. They take Dominic's gun, and he puts his hands up, but they don't fire and allow him to leave, telling him to tell your master we have arrived. Dominic points to the security camera that's above them and points out that he already knows.
Yeah, again, they just did that whole, like, ordeal in the, like, popping up back and forth, hurting him, not to, like, get the stuff back that he stole, or, like, reprimand him for murdering, or anything. It was literally just like, hey.
We saw you.
We saw you.
I'm not going to do anything about it, but we saw you.
Yeah, let that girl go. Okay, bye.
They didn't even say that, to be fair. Until they said, tell your master we have arrived, those are the first words of this movie. Pretty sure.
No, they said...
Oh, you're right, let her go.
Yeah,
you're right.
They're like, we don't care about what you took or whatever. I'm like, why are you here then?
That's true. We're just chasing you around. Ha!
Yeah, exactly. Ha!
After the title sequence, where we see, the Omega code, and obviously the Omega code is done with the Omega symbol. It's
with some sweet ass graphics.
That's right. The Omega swings into the screen. Swoop.
Yeah. Oh gosh, just the amount of like really, really cheesy '90s idea of futuristic technology.
Yeah,
it's so painful.
But we now cut to an excited crowd looking for a chance to peek inside a studio. We meet Catherine Oxenberg, the actress, and Casper Van Dien, the actor, as Cassandra Barris and Dr. Gillen Lane, respectively.
Yeah.
So she's Cassandra, he's Gillen Lane.
They're married in real life.
They're married in real life, but in the in the movie, Catherine is interviewing the Dr. Lane. And he is apparently a cause of great excitement because he's got a doctorate in world religion and mythology. Yeah,
well, he also knows how to jump over couches, and that is enough to get the crowd going wild.
So tell me about this character.
Okay. Traditionally attractive. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming this entire scene is based on Tom Cruise visiting Oprah.
It might not have happened yet.
I think that did.
This is 99.
I know.
Was Tom Cruise that early?
You mean The Visit to Oprah? Like, when did he meet Katie Holmes?
Like, I thought it was in the 2000s.
I don't think so. No, wait, I have to look this up now. If not, then this might have inspired Tom Cruise. It's like he does that thing. He comes like running into the room. They call us, like they introduce him, say his name or whatever. He comes like darting into this studio, jumps over a couch, and the crowd goes wild. Like there's like 4 women in the audience like holding up headshots of him for some reason, just like waving them. Like I guess they expect him to sign those later.
I honestly don't understand what the premise of the person he's supposed to be is. Who's excited by a doctorate, a PhD? Well, she introduces him as like a motivational speaker? Yeah. They call him a speaker. That's the word she uses, I'm pretty sure. Like, so I'm like, he has that motivational speaker vibe. Oh my God, I forgot the best part. He walks into the room, raising the roof. That's true, he does. Oh man. It was embarrassing. So he excites the crowd somehow. And even his most offhand comments get huge laughs from this electric crowd because he's just the most riveting person ever. And he eventually tells the crowd what creates an extraordinary life is an extraordinary mindset. And Cassandra, to be fair, rolls her eyes almost every time he speaks. She's not interested in him. But why is he on the show? It seems like it's her show. So, actually, I'm going to talk about this later, but let's talk about it now. Mm-hmm. Her job doesn't make sense to me. No. This is a daytime talk show. Right. But she also is later in Jerusalem reporting. Right. Live on scene when bad things happen. Yes. What is she? She's supposed to be a journalist, but journalists don't have daytime talk shows. No. Not while they're still active journalists. Right, no. So I don't know what her job is supposed to be, except they just thought, like, media personality and just went with it. Yeah, that's it. Because no one has Wendy Williams doesn't do her daily talk show and then go off to Syria to talk about the war. I mean, conversely, Oprah was a journalist who turned into a talk show host, but she never did them at the same time. It could even happen in opposite. Yeah. But you don't do one and then the next week do the other and then go back. No, that's not how anything works. And she's a terrible interviewer. Yeah, that too. She asks super dumb questions. Cassandra and the doctor talk about the Bible code because he is supposedly an expert on it, and he explains that the Bible code is essentially what I've already explained. Yeah. You crisscross the Torah with a code of hidden words and phrases that reveals the past and the present, but also tells the future, according to him. Some even believe that it contains the actual blueprints of the universe. And then he talks about Hitler and the Kennedy assassination and Princess Diana's death all being found in the Bible code. Right. Would have probably been useful if you could do it ahead of time, but I guess that's the point of prophesying using it. Right. So whatever. You can easily find what's already happened in things. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know that what's an old book? Did you know that in The Hobbit, there's a prophecy about Jane Austen. Yeah. Predicted 9/11. Predicted 9/11. If you just read it this really certain way in this really specific manner, you're like, oh shit, Jane Austen knew about 9/11. Every 25th letter is a vowel. Yeah, so it's just whatever. He further says that in the book of Daniel, an angel tells, presumably Daniel, to seal up the book until the end of days. But Rostenberg, the rabbi we saw shot earlier, may have found the key to unlock it. So Rostenberg, the now dead rabbi, believes the Bible was actually a holographic computer program and that the code could be used to tell the future. The reason Gillen talks about it in his books is that what people want to believe is religion is really just myths born of a collective consciousness. And Cassandra asks him how anyone can believe that the hidden codes are in the Bible, yet not in the book itself. Yeah, okay, whatever. Terrible question. So Lane mocks the concept of biblical beliefs a little bit and then gets a flash of some really bad memory before answering. And it's literally accompanied by laser sounds. I know! It's so weird! I'm like, is he having a hallucination? So we find out he is having visions. Yeah. Supposed visions. But every time it happens, the screen goes all photo negative. Right. And then the lasers happen. Yeah. It's like, pew, pew, pew. And it's like laser colors, laser sounds. It's like, what is going? This is the best. You cannot even kind of make out what the vision is supposed to be at all. It's just so jumbled. But essentially, he doesn't believe the Bible itself because his mom died. This was
another one of those ones where Christians can't come up with any reason why anyone wouldn't be Christian unless they're that somebody die as a child.
I don't think a single fictional mother has survived a Christian movie.
No, I think you're right. Or
it's
Disney
a world
movie.
of single dads. Disney movies, Christian movies. Just moms don't make it, man. It's a thing.
Childbirth is hard.
Childbirth is hard. But here's the thing. They're always alive and then they die of something horrible.
Right.
Cancer, car accident.
Yeah,
stroke.
It's true. Yeah.
There's never, not even just a regular, like...
It's because male writers do not know how to write for women, so they just don't include them at all.
But it's just, like, why do they gotta die?
Because what? Like, because clearly mothers had to have existed, but they don't want to write them.
Yeah, and they don't want them to be divorced. That would be sinful.
Exactly. No, but for real, how many of these movies that we've covered include, like, somebody who was a non-believer just because someone died?
We've done minimum 3.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more.
I know, there's no other, like, why else would anybody not believe in the Bible?
Yep. Because we're at 20-something episodes.
They're just mad at the Bible.
We've only done about 16 movies total.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, anybody who isn't a believer for a reason,
it's
because their mom's dead.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's the weirdest trope.
It's so
lazy. It's just only their moms, too.
Right.
No one's dad died in a horrible way.
No, well, no, both of his parents died.
This guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
His parents died. That's what he said. Yeah, he said my parents died in a crash.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just his mom.
No.
Whatever.
But it still sticks with
mothers. All right, so there you
survive.
go. This movie's unique because he's the only one who lost both parents. Everyone else was raised by a single dad.
It's true.
In his own words, in Dr. Gillen Lane's own words, her faith in her loving God, her truth, was just a myth. Therefore, myth must be truth. Which isn't how anything works, but that's fine.
No, I shut down when people start talking like this. I'm like, oh God, must be. When they start using like must, has to, obvious. Yeah, no, you're wrong. I don't feel like dealing with it.
Now, Cassandra points out how this attitude and his background may obviously color his approach to these things, but instead of answering her question with the finally possibly interesting question she asked, he decides to play to the studio audience. And he gets up and he tells them that change is motivation. People shouldn't be held back by believing in a higher power, but realize that they are the higher power, and they can affect change directly. I'm pretty sure he woos.
Probably. But probably raises the roof again.
And this is a lot of setup done for this movie, so I'm hoping at this point that we're just done with the premise. Because it took me so long to get through all of that.
They could have used some Basil exposition.
Basil exposition! The next scene opens, and it's a man before a set of computers trying to decode the Bible code using Rosenberg's notes. But the page that he had in his shirt is missing. And is the key. And he sort of explains this. And we're missing some parts of it, but we're trying to figure it out. We might be able to get it eventually.
Yeah, because somehow, like, the fake rabbi thief, though having been watching Rosenberg, is that his name? Rosenberg? Rostenberg. In order to murder him, did not notice him tear out a piece of paper and put it in his pocket.
And didn't bother looking. He possibly shot it.
Yeah, it's true. He could have actually ruined everything. The blood definitely. There should have been way more blood, and that should have soaked right through.
That's true.
Yeah.
That thing is covered in blood.
Yeah.
But it's magical, so.
Magical.
Yeah. A decoded message appears on the computer. Rebirth of Empire begins. And so we go to Rome, because we're going to crisscross the globe in this one, people.
Yay!
We meet Stone Alexander, played by Michael York.
Yes.
Basil Exposition.
Yes.
And he's opened his gates at his literal castle for his annual celebrity gala and auction. And Gillen Lane has arrived to drink some fine champagne and support a worthy cause. Those are his words.
Yep.
Stone Alexander has recently been named chairman of the European Union, so we already know he's the bad guy because we learned from Left Behind that he's in charge of the One World Order. If you are the head of the EU, you're the Antichrist.
Right.
Those are the rules.
You're right. That is another, like, I kept finding so many overlaps between this movie and Left Behind, and that's another one that I wasn't even... Yeah. Huh.
So Stone gives this really big speech about how he's got food that can sustain you an entire day, but is really cheap to make.
Which is like, oh my God. What's the bread in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. It's the elven bread.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, it was like, just like a bite sustains you, and the hobbits would eat all of it in like one go. Also, write in and shame me for not remembering the name of that bread.
Yeah. Shame, huh?
Shame.
And he also has a desalinization solution that can bring water to any desert.
Right. I would like to talk about that a bit.
Okay. Because
if that was possible, which is, I think it will be eventually, but I want to know what the effects on the ocean it would be if we were taking water straight from the ocean.
Yeah.
In order to, assuming when he says like to the deepest deserts or whatever, for irrigation, which would require a whole lot, and that would completely change.
Yeah.
Like the
Everything.
ecosystem of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're trying to make fucking farmsteads in the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe they're just saying, if you live in the desert, we can get you some drinking water. I don't know which one they're saying. But either way,
I'm not certain.
The effects
Honestly,
would be catastrophic.
This is the most interesting part that comes up in this entire movie, and it never, ever matters again.
No, it doesn't. You're right.
Neither of these things. I think they mention the water solution one more time in the movie.
Yeah.
The wafer that you can survive on for a day after eating a tiny little cookie.
Yeah.
Never comes up again.
Limbus bread.
Limbus bread. That's right. I've heard of that.
I can sleep easy tonight.
But yeah, it's just the weirdest extra thing. But while he's introducing these new concepts that are never going to come up again, Gillen notices Cassandra's in the audience, and Dominic noticed that Gillen's in the audience, and they all watch each other very carefully.
Yes.
Gillen's watching Cassandra, Dominic's watching Gillen. I hate that name, by the way.
Gillen?
Gillen.
I hate it.
Hate it.
Yep.
I'm going to call him Lane from now on.
Or Casper.
I could just call him Casper.
Just call him Casper. That way we'll know who's the most...
That's true.
Yeah.
Casper approaches Alexander Stone, but he's stopped by Dominic, who's a very big guy. Mm-hmm. And the four of them have a vapid conversation, because Cassandra's here now. And we find out that Stone and Cassandra are together.
Ooh.
She, gives him a smooch on the cheek or something.
Kind of.
Casper wants a meeting to discuss some ideas with Stone, but he is ignored and rejected by Dominic especially, who just literally holds his hand. I'm like, you're not going over there. So
also, he doesn't get he seems like he's supposed to be a security guard type of a fella, but his way of stopping Casper Van Dien was to get behind the guy he's guarding and put his hand out in front of him. So he doesn't really...
Yeah, it's a weird way to...
Yeah. So he's reaching around Michael York to stop Casper Van Dien, who could easily now stab him if that was the goal. Yeah. So
now with the two of them just by themselves, Cassie and Casper make some flirty as he helps her fix her dress, and we learn that he's separated from his wife. So there's a chance they're going to make some sweet, sweet love.
Nice.
Turns out that's not what they were setting up. It was just pointless exposition.
Yep.
But they talk about the fact that Cassandra finds him annoying because he's interested in helping people, but doesn't make much money off of it. I have no idea. She says it. Yeah, she's I know. I do not know what her purpose is at all. Because I find him annoying. Yeah. I thought she was going to be like, you're a self-important asshole. Right. But no, she's like, you're always trying to help people, but you don't even make money. Yeah. And he's like, you're literally with the guy who's just trying to fix world hunger. Yeah. That's but your he profits off of it. I guess you're right. Yeah. But it's still you fix world hunger. Yeah. Your guy, I don't know. She's upset with him that he wants to help, like Stone helps. Yeah. Except he doesn't make money off of it like Stone does. So Casper heads off to meet a horse. I don't know. But as the horse as he's approaching the horse, the screen does the laser memories thing again. Yes. And the Bible code computer receives another message. Laser memories is so good. So accurate. Okay, I'm fine. Yeah, he walked to a horse to go, I'm gonna go hang out with that horse. What? No, yeah, there's no reason for it, you're right. But the message that the Bible code computer got was, single lane leads the way. Nobody knows what this means, obviously, but we're collecting information here. And, of course, we do a little bit because... Was that referencing his romantic status? I think so. I think it is. We just found out he's single. He's lame. Yeah. He's leading the way. Right. So the audience, dramatic irony. We know what's happening. The people on screen don't know what that means. Right. But we're back in Los Angeles now, and Casper is playing pool with a friend of his who asks about his personal life. We could then learn that he was separated from his wife. We could. Because... Oh, you're rewriting the movie. This is a good idea. Because Cassandra and him don't actually hook up at any point. Right. There was no will. There was no need for the will they, won't they. Or the... Right. Yeah. They set up a very clear will they, won't they. Right. When they later had a scene where he explains his personal life to a different person. They could have just cut out that part. Yeah, well, he did... I guess he needed to be near horses. That was he was still near horses. He could have gone meet the horse after. You're totally right. Horses could appear literally anywhere. Stone was riding the horse. Yeah. He just met the horse later. It's just... God damn it, this movie is
It's so bad.
I have so many notes. And this movie, it's so bad.
How many pages of notes do you have?
I have 4 pages.
Oh my god, that's the most to date.
It's the most I've ever taken on one of the things we've done.
Wow. Oh, I cannot wait.
But I have to cut, just leave most of it because half of it's pointless. It's... Okay. Casper doesn't like the Inquisition about his divorce, and now he's losing the best thing that ever happened to him, his wife and his child. But Friend is just trying to help. So Friend and wife talk about how hard times happen, but you just have to push through no matter what. And Casper opens up about the fact that he's having visions. Weird ones. Or laser memories, if you will.
Laser memories.
Friend sidesteps the question about the visions, and instead goes back to marriage and tells him that the worth of a real man will show in the countenance of his wife's face. So, I guess this is helpful. I don't really know why the scene happened.
I don't know why either. I don't know why. We had to be introduced to that man somehow.
Yeah. But that's the point. We could have cut out the conversation with Cassie and gone with this scene only.
Yep.
It would have at least saved the 3 minutes of that stupid...
Oh, question.
Yeah.
That scene with Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Flirt. The strap to her dress breaks. Mm-hmm. He helps fix it. He pins some sort of note to her...
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
Could you read it?
I thought it was just his card, maybe.
Yeah, I'm like, is that his phone number? That's a weird place to put it. Now she's walking around a party with this, piece of paper that she doesn't know about. It's like a kick me sign, essentially. That's not the way to woo a lady.
Oh.
Embarrass her.
Maybe it was contact for him because she knows Stone, and if he has his number, Stone might reach out. Yeah.
Also, she had a jacket on. She took the jacket off to fix the dress. Did not put the jacket back on. Where's the jacket?
Just left it.
Where'd it go?
Just left it. Yeah, I don't know, man. This movie's weird in a lot of ways.
Yeah, okay.
I'm glad that you find the stuff I don't, because I did not really remember that.
We're going to fill in all of these blanks.
So we're back in Rome, and Stone is working, and he asks Dominic what he thinks about Casper. Stone likes him, because he's a man of vision, and Stone doesn't have enough of those around. And this is obviously a direct insult to Dominic. Mm-hmm. Because Dominic even makes a face, okay, what the fuck is he talking about me for right now? I can kill him with my hands.
Fucking jealous.
He's very jealous. And then Casper shows up in his wife's house with birthday gifts for their daughter, and he disarms the wife by giving her a rose. Yeah. She's very easily persuaded.
She needs to be, calmed down. Not because she's mad that he's there because they're getting a divorce or whatever, but she's like, stop spoiling her. It's her fucking birthday.
That's the point of birthdays.
Right. I'm like, if you're going to give somebody a gift, birthday's the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like he's just showing up with random bicycles and dolls and whatever trying to manipulate. It's her fucking birthday. Her dad can bring her a present.
And the wife literally takes this opportunity to fight with him in front of their child.
Yep.
If you loved me half as much as you love her, we'd have one heck of a marriage.
Yeah.
And they both have
What a weird thing to have a problem with. Your husband loving your daughter.
They have to confront their feelings about each other in front of their kid because she's not giving him a chance.
In a way that seems like it's the kid's fault. It's not going to be great for her adult life.
And he mentions that he's taken a teaching position at the local university so that they can work it out. And they smooch, because what an easy woman to win over.
Yeah.
It took a rose.
Yep.
And I have a new job. I'm going to be around a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is a good start.
It's a good
start.
But
it's not done yet.
I was going to say, it sounds like a lot like words, and then actions need to happen. And I'm assuming up to this point that's been one of their big problems.
It's been the problem.
Right. So she's dumb or written by men.
Yeah. But we do cut to him teaching, and after a class gets out, Dominic appears amidst his crowd of excited students, and he invites him to Alexander Stone's Peace Summit. But Casper declines, because he's here to focus on his marriage. And at this point, another Bible code message appears. Houses of Isaac and Ishmael, torn in terror. The computer guy determines that the house of Isaac must be a synagogue, and Ishmael to be a mosque, likely the Dome of the Rock. His superior, who always hangs out in the room with him, is going to activate the Jerusalem plan.
Activate.
Dun, dun.
Activate.
The Jerusalem plan! So we're back in Jerusalem, and we see men dressed as bombs in the same alley that represents Jerusalem.
Dressed as bombs?
Shit. We're back in Jerusalem.
Oh, you're making the movie so much better, Josh. I want to watch your movie.
We're back in Jerusalem. And we see men dressed as Jews planting bombs in the alley that represents Jerusalem.
There it is.
That night, as Cassandra is about to do some reporting from Jerusalem, those bombs explode and destroy the Dome of the Rock.
Yep.
Her broadcast from location is lost as another explosion goes off near her. And this is when I started thinking, like, what the fuck is her job?
Right. Yeah. Again, kind of like we dealt with Kirk Cameron in Left Behind. Like, what's he doing?
Yeah. But he at least did only reporting. He didn't have a daytime talk show.
He didn't have a daytime talk show.
He might have showed up on a panel
But he also
two.
got way more involved in things than any journalist would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're here to report, not, like,
Right.
make news.
Exactly. You aren't the news.
You aren't the news.
Yeah.
Cassandra's cameraman is dead, and the two angel guys, or the prophets from the earlier scene, deliver a message for her to pass on. They drag her from the scene, and we see a news program a week later declaring that violence has broken out in Jerusalem, as this bombing has sparked tensions between Jews and Muslims, because neither will take responsibility.
Yeah. So they're going to bomb each other until the other one, they're like, you have to admit that it's your fault!
No, it was you!
You have to admit that it's your fault!
It was you!
Which actually maybe just the whole, this is where we could have used somebody with some knowledge.
But honestly, it's not even a big part of this movie.
It's not,
We're skipping
but it's
past
funny.
it so fast.
It's so funny.
Yeah. We will have one, I guarantee. It's like
simplistic.
the conflict is going to be there.
Right. Okay, good.
So back at home, Casper catches up with his wife, who wants to fuck.
Yeah.
She says, we can pretend we're newlyweds again.
Like, we don't have a kid, and the kid's there. Again, she hates this
I think
child.
she's asleep, though.
She's asleep, but still.
Yeah.
She's like, we can pretend we don't have a child, and you only love me.
You can just fuck me.
Yeah.
Only.
Exactly. Stop lusting after our daughter.
Like I clearly do.
It's so fucking weird.
So she finds his invitation to the Peace Summit and asks why he didn't say anything. And he says there was nothing to tell because he turned it down. But that's not good enough, despite being a perfectly valid answer. Mm-hmm. She concludes that he was reconsidering going, and she gets upset with him.
No, because he says he's going.
No, he doesn't yet. She assumes he is. She's upset first. But he does not answer when she's like, I guess you were reconsidering going. And then he does fuck up because he was.
Yeah.
But she just assumed the worst for no reason.
Not for no reason. I'm guessing it's like the 150th time he's done this.
That's true, to be fair. Not for no reason. Yeah, okay.
She's finally maybe learning from history.
Yeah, okay, you're right. But he does eventually conclude that he's gonna go. He says it's just a week. And he made his wife and daughter a promise, and he intends to keep it.
Except you're literally not. This action proves not true.
Right. But at the same time, like, if it was just a week, she also needs to get over it.
No.
I mean,
he literally just, like, it's like the day before, he's like, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm staying here.
We don't know how long it's been.
It's been like a day.
Time passed in this movie like 7 years is in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, this movie takes place over years.
Does it say that? Ever?
They don't officially say it, but the tribulation is supposed to be 7 years. This movie is the entire tribulation.
Oh, okay.
At least minimum 3.5 years past.
His daughter doesn't age one single day.
No, not a day. No one does.
But yeah, that's why I don't... I don't know. Maybe it's... I feel like maybe that's what it's supposed to be is 7 years because Bible. Mm-hmm. But they did like a day after tomorrow thing where like we don't have time to show like climate change. We're just going to do it overnight. Yep. Yeah.
I know for a fact that they have text on the screen that says it's been at least 3.5 years from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's 7 total.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't.
It doesn't really matter.
They did a terrible job with that.
The movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would argue that he's a famous guy, and she's known that for a while, probably before they were even together.
Yeah.
And if not, like, it happened over time, and, like, he works. He sometimes goes out of town for a week. Like, if he comes back and actually pays attention and treats you right, this should work. Except that you need all the attention because you're jealous of your daughter.
Her point of view is null and void. Like, she doesn't have one. They don't make her out to be a whole person with logic.
True. That's true.
So, no, it doesn't make sense.
And she's jealous of her daughter, so she's probably jealous of
her daughter.
Everyone else.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, you're spending time with anyone that's not me?
Yeah.
Why do we even have this fucking kid?
She never even expresses... Yeah, she never really... There's never really an explanation as to what their problems have been up to this point. You just have to make the assumption that it's him being gone a lot.
Right. Even though that makes no sense.
No sense.
Right. So, Stone and Dominic catch up on the latest news, and Israel and Palestine have rejected his latest proposal. They find it unreasonable. But Casper just slides into this secure office where they do European Union business and tells him that unreasonable people shape the world. And he needs to go back and tell both sides that he's gonna be unreasonable until someone comes around. Mm-hmm. And that's what's gonna change this. Dominic obviously says that's idiotic. But Stone is swayed, and he tells Dominic to go ahead and do what he said.
Okay.
So Casper and Stone are friends now, and they bond over music and talk about who can be the new figurehead for an era of peace. Casper obviously suggests that it should be Stone, but he turns it down. But Stone reveals to him that their information tells him that the bombing and the food and water shortages and everything else going on is all connected, but by who, they do not yet know. Casper calls his wife and checks in and tells her that he's accepted a position as ambassador, and that the simple week he claimed is not happening because he's a lying liar. Mm-hmm. Now, clearly, she's got reason to be upset now.
Yes. Starting now.
He might have been out of town too much.
I don't know.
We don't work on that.
Doesn't matter.
But now she should be pissed because it's like, it's a week. Oh, you're never coming home ever. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, fuck your face.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck your whole stupid face.
All of his stuff should have already been put into storage.
Yeah.
Like, you've been gone just long enough.
And turns out that she was there the whole time. She was just letting the answering machine screen it because she already knew he was gonna disappear. Mm-hmm. And so she cries and cries over his message. Stone and Casper go on a goodwill tour around the world. This takes at least a year, they say in the dialogue.
Okay.
And so apparently he hasn't been home in a year.
Yeah, and he thinks he's still going to piece together his broken relationship.
Right. And stock markets have begun to recover after Stone's proposal of a global currency and donation of his weird technology has helped places with struggling economies. The two men that are the prophets have gained a crowd of onlookers in Jerusalem. And we're back in Rome, where Casper gets a call from that computer guy, mm-hmm. who tells him that he needs to cancel the summit. Casper's intrigued, because the summit is top secret. No one should even know that it's happening yet.
Right.
So he agrees to meet this computer man.
Yeah, who are you?
Who are you?
Why do you know that?
I guess you're right. Let's go. At the meeting, a voiceover reveals that Lane had already told Stone about the meeting that was happening, but he rejected his offer of protection for this probable wacko. He goes to meet this guy when a gunshot goes off and the computer guy jumps, but it was just a popping balloon. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Dominic is there, right? He's watching.
Dominic's, like, on a roof watching this whole thing go down. Meanwhile, there's, like, clowns around, and I do not like it.
The computer...
Why? Why are there clowns? What's happening? Where are they?
They're in a very busy place. There is a clown. It's
on
very
a unicycle, correct?
On a unicycle.
Yeah.
And the computer guy hands Casper some papers. And just as he does this, a clown shoots him in the back.
Yep, that clown.
The same clown. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Why is there a fucking clown?
A murder clown.
A murder clown. John Wayne Gacy is in Rome.
Yeah.
For some reason.
So Casper runs away as Dominic watches from above. And he goes back and he gives the documents that he got from the computer guy to Alexander Stone, who expresses concern for the fact that he might have been killed. The documents here are just Bible code printouts, and we see a new one. Wild siblings, tamed by beast. And I think at this point we're talking about the third Beastmaster because Casper Van Dien was in it.
Okay.
Yep.
I know nothing about that movie.
Beastmaster 3.
Oh.
He played King something.
So this is a prequel.
I don't know. I've never seen Beastmaster, any of them.
Yeah, that would never occur.
But there was a third one and Casper Van Dien was in it.
It was good enough to make 3.
So the Peace Summit is going terribly. And Casper comes in and calms the mood with some motivational speaking bullshit.
Yeah, his skill.
Alexander Stone then makes a proposition of a 7-year peace treaty that secures Israel and grants Palestine an independent state. The Dome of the Rock and King Solomon's Temple will be built side by side on the Temple Mount. It's an extraordinary deal, and because the people who believe in this stuff are bad people, this peace is supposed to be a portent of terrible things to come. If you make peace with Israel and Palestine,
doom.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I guess it's good in the sense that Jesus comes back at the end of all of it, but the point is, it's a bad sign if someone makes peace with Israel and Palestine. That's a real thing that real people believe.
Oh my good God.
Because that person is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Wow.
Cassandra comes to Casper and gives him the message that she received from the prophets. Follow the pages of blood. Casper blows her off, and another code printout reads, 10 horns unite world peace. So Stone unites the world under a 10-zone world unity concept, which we did see in Left Behind, I believe. There will be 10 kings, they'll each have a part of the world.
I remember that loosely.
And he's even created technology to neutralize atomic weapons. So things are getting wild because Stone is coming to take over the world, people. Another printout happens again. We're just getting printouts all the time. Aroma of Eden enchants air 3.5 years.
What the fuck? I remember that. I think this is around my nap time.
I'm trying to make this as cogent as possible. That's why I have so much notes.
You're doing a great job. I believe this is the best that can be done.
It's a fucking nightmare of a movie. It was 100 minutes long.
It was only 100 minutes. I took 2 naps.
It took... In order to both watch it and get all the notes on it, I'm pretty sure it took me 4 fucking hours to watch this movie.
I'm so sorry.
There was so much happening. None of it mattered. No. It was really boring.
Yeah.
It feels like an easy 3-hour movie.
It could have been, it felt like 3 hours. That is totally true. I thought I was going to be really late getting here because of how long it felt like it was taking. I checked my I checked my phone a couple times, I remember him saying it was only 100 minutes, but it's been like 2 hours. and 20 minutes.
I remember the first time I stopped to check how long the movie had to go.
Yeah.
I was 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it had been at least an hour and a half.
No, exactly.
I was like, holy shit, it's only 4. I have an hour to. Oh my God.
Maybe there is magic in the world and this movie is it, and it makes time slow down.
I was so mad when I realized I had an hour to go.
Yeah.
I actually had to do it in 2 chunks.
3 or 4 times.
I don't usually do movies in 2 chunks. I try to do them in one shot.
Right.
I watched 70 minutes, and then I finished the last half hour on a different day. A completely different day.
Sounds like a good sane choice.
I was like, I can't do this.
No.
It was horrible. Okay. But that's where we are now. Another year has passed, and Casper is still having visions, and they continue to distress him, and he remembers Cassandra's warning from the year before to follow the pages of blood, and he heads off to some holy site. We know it's in Jerusalem again, because it takes place in the same alley that every scene in Jerusalem does.
The most popular alley in Jerusalem.
He eventually finds the Bible code computer, and he explores it. As he's doing this, we see Stone talking to Dominic. And he's asking whether one is damned for fulfilling the role set for them by destiny. And this is the only interesting thing that happens in this movie. He basically says, if their role in the grand order is decided by prophecy, do they still go to hell if they fulfill that prophecy?
Right.
Because Stone is aware that he's supposedly the beast that's described in Bible prophecy, but he's also aware that the beast is supposed to be the bad guy.
Yeah, so it's the Judas thing again.
It's the Judas thing again.
It's the Judas conversation that we had.
Someone has to do it.
Right.
It's a prophecy. There is no choice in the matter because God's omnipotent and omniscient.
Right. Hitler gets mentioned.
So, if you are the beast, you don't have a choice in the matter. You don't choose to be it.
Right.
But you still do everything.
Yeah.
But you didn't choose it.
Right.
Do you go to hell?
This is right back to the whole intelligent design thing, too.
And worse still than that,
yeah,
we do know that the beast goes to hell because that's also in the Bible.
Right.
So this person, whoever it is, supposedly,
yeah,
is born to be the Antichrist.
Right.
They will fulfill the prophecy set for them by a divine power.
Yes.
Which cannot be wrong.
Right, and then they get punished for it.
Then they will be thrown in hell for it. Not punished. Punished eternally for the rest of everything that could ever exist. Eternity is not a concept.
Every day, right. Forever until ever.
Eternity is not a concept that we can really, really wrap our heads around.
Right.
Is how long it is.
Right.
For the rest of
infinity. Yep.
He will be burned in hell forever.
Yeah.
For something that he literally can't do anything about.
Yep. God. Ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, even if you believe this stuff, how can you worship that thing?
I have no idea. This is a big problem. It's a big problem.
Even one person suffering that fate, let's say it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. There's a reason that a lot of ethical philosophy revolves around these sorts of concepts. Do you know the story of Omalus?
No. Tell me.
Omalus, if I'm getting the name right, is a short story in philosophy. And it's essentially a perfect utopia. Mm-hmm. Everything is great. No one wants for anything. They're perfectly happy, perfectly satisfied. They have all the food, water, entertainment, everything.
Right.
But at a certain point, right when you hit adulthood, they show you the secret. And in it, there is a small child taken from the people. And it suffers basically all of the torment that should befall normal people in their place.
Gotcha. So it's kind of a Jesus type thing.
It's kind of a Jesus type thing. But they tell you this so that you know what you are getting into if you choose to stay.
Right.
You can stay. There's no obligation on your part except that you have this information now. And the end of the story is that some people leave.
Right.
They don't know why, necessarily. They don't know what, but they can't stay. And that's supposed to be the point.
Yeah.
Like, some people are fine with it, sure.
Some people don't want the
shouldn't be.
Absolutely. So it's like the space whale episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like you get to find out how this thing is, how this place exists in the first place, and then you decide whether you want to forget forever.
Yeah.
And just go on living a happy, ignorant existence, or if you want to leave and not participate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's my point. If it's just one person, because I'm with the story in this case. If I find that out, I have to go.
100%. There's no...
I don't have a choice.
No doubt. And that's not just me feeling superior to people. I know. One, I like having as much knowledge as possible. I don't believe in... I'm not one of those people who would ever say, like, no, don't tell me, I'd rather not know. Ever. Which is why I'm going to have a miserable life, most likely. I realize that. But... I could not live with myself knowing something and not, And
if you live with yourself thinking that there is someone who's gonna go out there, save the world, but actually be the bad guy and then get burned in hell forever and they never had a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
That, I don't understand that mindset. I guess, I just don't.
I don't either.
And we don't have to agree, that's fine, but we just will not understand each other on this.
Right. I'm with you.
Okay. On their monitors, while they're having this pretty interesting in-depth conversation, which happens very short and doesn't go into nearly the detail we just did, they see Casper in the computer room, and Dominic heads off to murder him in the face. Casper sees him coming, and he runs away, but Dominic catches him easily. And he
runs away and hides behind something. Dominic doesn't see him or know where he is, and then he darts out from where he's hiding for no reason.
Rah! Oh no! Oh shit! I was damn!
Yeah,
I was hidden.
This is a failure on direction.
But Dominic almost shoots him in the face, but Stone spares him. He has caught up, I guess.
Yep.
And they talk about how Stone has organized all of the horrible things that have happened. And Stone argues that it was all for a much greater cause. He tells Casper that he needs him to be his prophet in the new world, but this angers Dominic because he was told that he would be the prophet. So he shoots at both of them, but Casper escapes and Stone is shot in the head, or face, or neck. Somewhere up here.
Head. Yeah, it's supposed to be like his temple, I think.
Hey, for once he was shot in the face.
Hey! Prophecy.
Dominic frames Casper for the murder, or the attempted murder.
Right.
As another code readout says, blood pours from Stone. World wonders.
World wonders is my favorite part of that. Blood pours from Stone is all we need to know that that's being prophetic. World wonders.
Dominic rides away in the ambulance with Stone as others hunt for Casper. But Casper escapes and he comes across a robed man that he's been seeing in his visions. And this didn't seem to have added up to anything. This guy appears in his real life.
Yeah, that's been in his laser dreams.
Yeah, and nothing happens.
Nothing.
He doesn't even have a conversation.
Yep.
Okay.
Got tying up that old loose end.
It's so fucking weird.
Nothing, yeah.
But Stone dies. And Cassie and Casper talk about how screwed he is, but she's willing to help because he believes in her now.
He believes in her?
Yeah, like her message or her purpose or whatever. Right. So Casper goes and he talks about how he didn't believe the claims of the Bible Code being the blueprint of the universe, but he and Cassie get on a plane and they head off. And Stone Alexander finds himself revived and he sits up in his hospital bed.
Yeah, they keep showing like his heart monitor or whatever, and it was... nothing.
Yeah, it was flat.
He had no heartbeat. Flat, whatever it's called. Whatever.
Pulse.
I guess. But anyway, for several scenes. But they have him in a hospital bed like he could recover. He just they have a bandage on his head like he could recover. But he has not had a heartbeat since they put him in the ambulance or whatever.
Well, let's just leave him.
Right. They're just like, maybe. And lo and behold, he does get a pulse.
There was a period of time where he did have a minor heartbeat.
I didn't see that at all. I only saw it
after Casper met his hooded figure.
Yeah,
he officially died. Like it did the beep. But
I never saw it have any.
It was always a tiny bit. Like they were like, he's fucked up for real. Like he's dead. But then he died.
Right.
But now you're right because it's a different scene. It doesn't seem to have happened quickly.
Right.
And he's still in the hospital bed attached to stuff.
Yeah.
And he's been dead for, and this is biblical prophecy, he's been dead for 3 years. Well, supposed biblical prophecy. He's been, not years, sorry.
Okay.
Let me go back.
Okay.
There is this later scene where he comes back to life.
Yes.
According to the people who believe this sort of thing.
Right.
He's been dead 3 days. And now he's alive.
Yeah, he's been in a hospital.
So they just kept him in a hospital bed as a corpse.
A bed in a hospital.
For 3 days.
For 3 days.
And they know he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah. He's had no pulse. Yeah, just a bandage on his head.
It's just the weirdest thing.
It's so stupid.
In the Left Behind series, this does happen, because it's the same silly prophecy. He gets killed. He revives at his funeral, which is 3 days later. Right. Which makes sense.
Yep.
Because he's dead.
Yes.
You'd bury this person.
Right.
But he comes back to life.
Not keeping hospital real estate.
Okay. But Stone Alexander is a different man, and he finds himself sitting in his hospital bed. He threatens Dominic right away.
He showed lizard eyes.
He has lizard eyes now.
He opened his eyes after getting a pulse back, and he had, like, lizard eyes. Mm-hmm. And then they just go back to normal human eyes. So now you know he's the beast. Mm-hmm. That's how we know.
He threatens Dominic. He says, I'm your new master now. You will always be useful, or you will find your bowels spilling out just as Judas did when he betrayed his own master.
Yeah, which is the opposite of the story he was talking about earlier. This is like what he was saying earlier about Judas. Mm-hmm. Now he's saying that he believes everybody else's opinion, which is that he was the bad guy.
Well, he's a different man now.
Oh, he's a beast.
Satan, right.
That's right. Whatever.
Spoilers for the end.
He's fucking Satan.
Spoilers for the end. He's Satan now.
Yeah, we already know the story.
He's being indwelt.
All right.
The final code is all they need now, but they've had no luck finding it. But we do get one more code. 7 horns bow to wounded head. This is obviously Stone's head. He got shot in it.
Right.
He's wounded. Dominic comes to reveal this new code to Stone, who has lost the need to sleep, we find out.
Yeah.
And they're bringing in the 10 world leaders to see who has remained faithful to Stone, a bedside summit. Dominic asks about the voices that are in Stone's head that apparently they've both known about. And Stone tells him that whatever this new one is, it's significantly more powerful and painful than the ones that he had before.
Cool.
And it never comes up again.
Nope.
It's the strangest fucking thing. Cassandra and Casper go to Jerusalem, where they can talk to the prophets. And they read the prophecy to Casper about a world leader who will rebuild Solomon's temple and usher in peace before being possessed by Satan and ruling the world himself before God comes down and stops him. If it wasn't clear, somehow, this is Stone Alexander. And Casper doesn't believe or even really care about this. He just wants to clear his own name. He runs away, and he tries to email his ex-wife to reveal the truth. But it's difficult to do because Stone is intercepting his messages and won't let them get through.
So it's putting like, send. And it's like, no, send, abort. Is abort a thing that happens when you can't send an email?
Abort on old computers was sometimes an option.
For an email?
For something trying to happen.
Yeah, it also didn't know what email looked like.
Yeah, and they had no idea.
Very bizarre.
None of the people in this 1999 movie have seen a computer.
Right.
It's just one of those things. I mean, 99 wasn't like crazy technological yet. Not everyone had a computer.
No, let's see.
But if you're making movies,
what
you've
was
seen
my situation? We had a computer, but I didn't have an email yet for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but again, my dad worked for telecom, so we got internet right away.
Was great. AIM there a thing yet in 99?
I don't know if AIM was, but AOL was.
Yeah. No, it did exist. Because on my friend's computer in like 8th grade, which would be 98, that before anybody was afraid of people on the internet and did not think that people were out to get children. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were inappropriate by accident online.
You're right. I think I was in chat rooms.
Yeah, for sure. Chat rooms. Yeah.
Tracking them through these emails he's trying to send, I guess. Stone's people come to attack them, but Casper escapes again. Honestly, there's like 4 different escape scenes in this movie. Yeah. He escapes from everything. He just keeps running.
And he's a really hilarious runner. He has the weirdest run. It is not cool looking. Why he didn't make it as a action star.
Casper calls his now, presumably, ex-wife, who tells him that he has nothing and Stone is a good man. But Casper is suspicious, and he's going to LA to check up on them. Once there, the wife reveals that there's a bug in their house, and they're being listened to. She does not keep up the facade for long, because she does the thing that people do in movies, where there's a bug, where she is saying one thing, but she's writing down a different one to show him. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, there's a bug in the house. And she's like, that's correct. They're listening to everything we're saying.
No, they're whispering as high as
but like
possible.
the whole point of the sign conversation,
right?
You may as well be yelling because
Right.
the whole point of the write something down, say something else,
Right.
is so they can't hear you.
Right.
Then they
Yes,
immediately
okay.
start, if we just whisper though, the bug won't work because that's how bugs work. That's why I was writing it down and not just whispering it earlier. I'm a screenwriter and I forgot how the bug works in my own screenplay.
It is not a good scene.
It's so fucking stupid.
Stupid, yes.
But while they're whispering, Dominic is listening in and he decides to attack the house because of course he does.
Well, no, they planted that. Like what they were saying, like what he could hear when they started talking normal.
Yeah.
And they set up a plan where like they said that they were going to be in a van going somewhere. So that was on purpose.
That was on purpose.
Yeah.
I just can't tell which part of it was on purpose.
Because it was poorly done. Like
Was it the editing that was wrong here? The directing?
It was the directing and
screenwriting?
editing for sure. Yeah, it was.
Because you're right. They say they're going to go to one place. They head out to do it. The bad guys attack them. Turns out they were lying. They're going to his friend's house.
Right.
That's
and
really
the van
point
was
here.
like was a red herring.
Yeah, the van was a trick. But it was such a poorly made scene. I couldn't figure out.
No, this whole movie is made like that.
Okay. They head over to Casper's friend's house, the older guy who was helping him with his marriage earlier.
Right.
And here, Casper talks more about his visions. And his friend runs away. Because he's like, nah, I'm not dealing with this crazy shit right now.
No, he's like, I'm gonna go make those phone calls that I said.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's shifty.
And the phone rings, and there's a bad guy leaving a message for the friend. Like, isn't that what
No,
happened?
he picks like the friend is like, small bladder, goes to the bathroom, so that's how they got rid of him in the scene. And then the phone rings, and Casper picks up the phone and doesn't say hello or anything. The guy just says,
Oh, that's possibly worse.
it is worse. Like, he doesn't, then on the other end of the line, the guy's like, we got your message, or whatever.
We'll be there soon.
We'll be there soon. And then he's like, hello? Hello? And Casper just puts the phone down.
So basically,
I don't know why he didn't just like put it back on the, whatever.
So Casper realizes that he's being set up by his friend, and he's supposed to be very sad now. Casper runs away again in the most dramatic scene, and as he's running, he's cornered by a semi-truck that's chasing him. Why he's being chased by a truck, who knows?
Also, he's running through the 70s. Every single car on the road is made it was from the 70s. Did you notice that?
That's what the people who work on the movie had.
No, that's exactly
And
it.
that's
Like, they
what the
could
cars they had
afford
access to.
these cars for car crashes and, a chase scene.
But he eventually gets trapped on a fence, and he gets run over by a semi-truck. But it turns out it was all a bad dream, and they made it safely to Israel.
But not all of it was a bad dream, because, the stuff with his friend was all supposed to be... But this is another one of those things where they don't make it clear. Like, he wakes up, with Cassandra, and she's like, you've been having bad dreams. And so I'm like, did he imagine the whole scene with his friend? Did he imagine, what part of this... Where did the dream start?
Apparently the part where he died.
Yeah, the part where he was, chased by and almost hit by a truck is when he was dreaming only.
But everything else was real.
Apparently.
I guess.
Yeah, we don't really...
I don't understand. But Cassandra tells him that they are safe in Israel, and she found him passed out in the street. So I guess he ran from the house to the airport, got on a plane.
No, I feel like he went through the whole chase scene, but then passed out right when he thought a truck was coming. That's what I imagined.
Then how did he get to Israel?
She got him. She's like, I found you on the street. How?
Oh, that's right. She found him in the streets in L.A. That's right. Okay.
She found him on the streets in L.A. somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know if she has a tracker on him. Maybe. I don't know. She finds him, and then he was already in Israel when he wakes up.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
But the prophets come to speak to him, and they realize that he is now awakened to the truth of matters. They pass on to him the final code, and they head off to die, which is almost their words exactly. They're off to meet their fate, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get shot in the chest real quick.
Cassandra comes out and pulls a gun on Casper because she's been with Stone this whole time. And she says to him, you shouldn't have trusted him. Even Satan comes as an angel of light.
Is she calling herself an angel of light right there?
I believe she's calling Stone an angel of light.
No, I think she was trying to reveal, it was her big reveal that she's a part of it.
Maybe.
She's like, even Satan has an angel of light. And I'm like, that's kind of arrogant.
It could be either.
You're not that
because
pretty.
we know that he's Satan.
Yeah.
So he's, in this case, the world peace leader who's the angel of light who's also Satan. But you're right, it could also be her.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty and...
I guess. Yeah.
She's...
angelic.
Yeah.
In her own mind.
Whatever. All of his friends are betraying him. We should feel really bad for Casper right now. But back at the Temple Mount, Stone Alexander has declared himself the next step of evolution for humanity. He's a king and a god.
And that's where he loses the crowd.
They were previously jubilant about his accomplishments, are stunned by this blasphemy. And the crowd inside gets upset, but outside grows especially restless.
Yeah.
As they basically riot. The prophets appear in the building, and they reprimand Stone Alexander as a man of sin, and challenge him to kill them, because, like the temple or some other metaphor they used, they will be rebuilt in 3 days by their god. So, Dominic shoots them quite easily and readily, as the crowd outside is rioting and people start to die. The prophets' bodies are put under guard by Alexander. He says, watch them, make sure they don't go anywhere.
Watch these bodies.
And many of the 10 nations of the world are now seceding from Stone's organization.
Brexit.
They're Brexiting. What do you call the one world order? What would the exit for that be?
Wexit. World exit.
NW out of here. The Twitter hashtag is NW out of here. Okay, so.
No world order.
That's good too. To solidify his power over the rest of the entire world, Stone plans a nuclear strike against them. And he gets news, while he's doing that, he gets news that multiple widespread catastrophes have struck the world all at once. And 2 men come in and confront Stone with the evidence against him. I presume these are 2 of the leaders of the 10 nations. He does this really stupid thing. He convinces them to just leave the room like, oh, just hang out over there. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, what's that over there? And then Dominic runs out of the room to shoot them.
It's
the fucking stupidest. They're like, oh, yeah, you're a super bad guy, and you're like the reason all the world is going to shit right now. But like, yeah, we'll just wait for you in this conference room.
This is now, it's like devolving into like a high school 1-act play.
It's a
like,
parody.
Written by children.
It's so stupid. It's Axe Cop.
It's Axe Cop. It's Axe Cop.
Because
at least Axe Cop's hilarious.
Right, because the writers are adults, so they're not as funny as children. Mm-hmm. But they just need scenes to happen, and they don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, as talented as a 12-year-old.
The kid was 5, I think.
Well, for Axe Cop, yeah, but I'm imagining these kids writing a play, and like putting it on in their backyard, and this is the quality of it.
But they're like, you're the worst thing in the world. And he's like, Thalia, buddies, let me grab your shoulders, talk to you real smooth. Yeah. Why don't you just go wait for me over there? Yeah. And they're not 2 feet from him when he turns around and goes, go shoot them in the face. Yeah. Thanks, bye.
Go get them.
Go get them. And you hear gunshots, they're dead. It's a fucking joke now.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't before, but it's especially really bad.
Yeah. New levels.
Cassandra shows up and delivers to Stone the final code, which melts in his hands. The writing on the piece of paper literally just fades away.
Yeah, just more quality graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thinking it's some trick by Casper, the bad guys go to interrogate Casper. Stone confesses that if Casper just tells him and gives him the final code, he may not have to destroy the entire Middle East. And Cassandra seems somewhat concerned about this new revelation, as though she didn't know that he's planning on nuking the Middle East.
Just can't anymore with this.
In defiance, Casper spits blood in Stone's face. And later in his cell, he hears whispers and senses the presence of something, as the doors open and a ghostly wind surrounds him before forming into a skull and attacking him with visions of his mother and childhood.
Yep, magic.
Or should I say, laser memories.
Laser memories.
Casper takes this opportunity to convert to Christianity for some reason, and he has the gifts he needs now to stop the bad guys.
I don't know.
No one knows what's happening.
I don't know.
Like, this movie is 100 minutes long, and they spent all of the effort in the movie in the first 40 minutes.
Yes.
And this last 20 is just pop, 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 pop.
Like, they're like rushing to try to put some sort of like storyline together that did not, I don't even, and this is about where like, or I think there's only like 10 minutes left in the film at this point, right? Does that seem about right?
Yeah.
This is another point where I paused it, like, how much fucking longer? And I saw I'm like, only 10 minutes left. I think I'm still going to take a nap. And I did. And then I pushed play again.
So an earthquake now begins, and the bodies of the prophets rise from the ground in a mass of bad CGI wind, and Lane escapes his cell due to the structural damage caused by the earthquake.
They rise up like at the end of Beauty and the Beast, when the Beast is transforming into the prince. It's that kind of like their their floppy bodies are just being like lifted into the air by nothing, but they also have like a tornado going around them.
Now, Casper is intercepted in his escape by Dominic, who almost shoots him before the prophets appear and beat him up and then kill him with their telekinesis powers they have now.
Prophets always had that.
What do they, snap his neck? Like, it's some crazy way.
It's something very violent.
They choke him to death, I think?
Something, yeah.
They give Casper another copy of the final code, as the truth has set him free. As the prophets have been resurrected, another group has renounced their support of Stone and declared him a heretic. So Casper confronts Stone Alexander with Dominic's gun, and Stone confesses to being Judas, Hitler, and the drunk driver who killed his parents.
Yep.
I guess he's Satan, is what they're saying?
Yeah, he's saying he is all evil. He is all bad things.
Yeah. I don't know if he's supposed to be Satan
also this movie?
Yeah, I don't know if they're saying like Hitler was possessed by Satan and that's what caused it, or if he's just saying like I am the cause of all evil.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly which point they're making.
See, to me, it was like I pictured like those, what is it? Not Geico.
Geico.
Yeah, there's like those commercials with chaos.
Oh, Mayhem.
Like, Mayhem. Yeah, the Mayhem
Allstate.
Commercials. Allstate. Yeah. We're just like, I am the attractive woman that makes you run into a tree. Like, I am the squirrel in your eye.
I am hepatitis.
Exactly.
So while they're having this conversation, Casper appeals to Cassandra. Can't you see what he is? But she can't bring herself to betray Stone and turns a gun on Casper instead. And by gun, I mean gun. Before Stone can launch the attack, Casper agrees to give him the final code so he won't nuke the Middle East, and he punches it into the Bible code computer.
Somehow.
Yeah, he can't read Hebrew.
He can't read Hebrew, and he's typing in Hebrew, but he's typing off of a normal QWERTY.
That's right.
Yeah, keyboard. What is happening? And he types it out fast too. Like, he's got some good words per minute, but they're not words that he could possibly be typing. Whatever.
But despite getting what he wants, Stone launches the attack anyway. And just as he does, a nuclear bomb of holy light strikes the area, and Satan is forcibly cast from Stone's body as a fake CGI devil.
Yeah, which I fucking loved. He's like holding on.
It's holding on to his shoulders.
To his shoulders, like while the light tries to blow him off of him.
This is a scene I am putting on Instagram. If you don't follow our Instagram, you need to, because you're going to see this ridiculous moment.
Please.
I'm doing it.
Oh, I love it. That's my favorite part of the whole movie. Spoiler alert, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and Stone dies. The devil leaves him. Stone dies.
Well, it's like he gets the injury back that originally killed him in the first place,
because
essentially.
Satan was keeping him alive, I guess.
Right, yeah.
But he dies of his head wound. The world is renewed in the holy light of God, and the final code is finally revealed. 0000, dawn of new millennium.
Yeah.
Movie's over.
It is. Yeah.
God damn it.
Credits.
This goddamn movie.
It's so terrible. It's so bad.
So we've been through the whole thing.
It's been way more fun to talk about it than to watch it, I can tell you that much.
Oh boy. This episode is 100% more entertaining.
Yeah.
Because this episode is infinity more entertaining.
Infinity.
Because the movie has no entertainment value.
That is not arrogance. That is because this movie is so...
It's so
painfully,
shitty.
drainingly boring.
So, we talked about most of it, but do you have any final thoughts for this movie?
Not really. Nothing prepared.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I think I've said it all.
I think that's it. There's
this
no more to say.
This movie's a goddamn mess.
It is, yeah.
I like Michael Ironside.
I don't know anything about him.
I just like, I think he has intimidating presence. He's good at being like a bad guy.
I guess.
He was good in Starship Troopers. I liked him. He was weird.
I didn't think anybody was good in that.
I mean, no one is, but he was good in the way he was supposed to be.
Gotcha.
The bad guy in Hilary Swank's Karate Kid movie. It's hilarious.
Never seen it.
It's bad.
Yeah.
That's where I learned about the Cranberries.
The band?
Yeah.
Oh, what a gift.
Because they were in that soundtrack. But I don't have anything about this movie. This movie sucks. That's my final thought.
It sucks.
It's bad. But we still have to do a best and worst.
Easy.
Okay.
Best was watching Satan clinging to the back of Basil Exposition and then being shot off into the night by, I'm assuming, God powers.
Yeah.
Best part. So good.
My best part is in a similar vein. I'm going to go with the shitty laser memory effect.
Yes.
Every time, the horse one was my favorite.
That's my favorite,
The horse-
especially after you described it.
He comes to the horse rears up, and it's just like, pew, pew, pew. What the fuck?
Laser memory prophecy!
But we don't even ever see what he's seeing.
No, exactly.
It doesn't cut to like a flash away or...
No. It really, all it is just to make sure that anybody with epilepsy cannot watch this movie.
And what do you think was the worst?
The entire rest of it, which I know is a very lazy out, and it's one I use constantly for these episodes.
But I mean, it's not really...
But really, there's it's so all equally so terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with...
the nonsensicalness of the plot line to begin with.
I'm gonna go specifically with the women characters.
Yeah, okay.
They're all terrible.
They're all terrible.
Cassandra is somehow the second worst because Casper's wife is the worst.
I agree with that.
She doesn't make sense. She's with Stone.
Yeah.
She isn't. She becomes the prophet's person, but she's really a spy
Right.
because she wants the final code.
Right.
Then she gets the final code.
She is simultaneously a spy for Satan,
Mm-hmm.
a journalist,
Mhm.
and a talk show host.
Mm-hmm. She's
And
somehow...
love interest, but not.
She's used like Dominic is.
Mhm.
I'm like, when is she going to turn on the bad guy? But she never does because the writers are lazy and
Right.
don't pull their own Chekhov's gun, which is weird.
Yeah.
Dominic's, they do. He shoots him, but then he concedes that, oh, you're Satan now. Well, I belong to you.
Right.
Dominic did turn on him
He did.
temporarily.
You're right.
But she never does, despite the multiple times when they're like, she's going to turn on him.
Yeah.
Oh, she is. No, she's not.
No, she doesn't. Maybe that was edited out. I feel like maybe a lot of stuff was edited out to make it like a movie that people were... I don't know. Maybe it was a 3-hour movie
Yeah.
where all of these plot holes
Yeah.
were explained.
Yeah.
But they had to edit a whole bunch out, and maybe the editor was also blind and deaf.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, now it's time to talk about next week.
Oh, okay.
So read the text I sent you.
I will. Give me a moment. It doesn't always recognize my thumbprint.
Yeah, it's fine.
Josh, next week, we are watching Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven.
Yes.
So
in the same vein of Angel...
Touched by an Angel?
Touched by an Angel.
Mhm.
This is another show that I knew about a lot and have never really watched.
Oh, so this is fun.
Yeah.
In tradition, I suppose, I have seen a lot of this show.
I am not surprised.
Possibly all of it.
I had several friends who watched it a lot, so I might have caught an episode here and there at their houses.
Yeah. I was weirdly into this show.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
surprised.
know why. I don't like wholesome stuff. Even as a child, I
I'm
thought
gonna guess
Care Bears...
Jessica Biel.
No, not really.
Really?
In fact, if any of the women on the show was my main crush, it was Lucy.
Lucy.
The
What's
sister.
the name of that actress?
Beverly Mitchell.
I know the cousin of her husband.
Okay.
Random.
Yeah, so she was, if anything, I was like, it's Lucy. I would always like, Lucy? Is this a Lucy episode? Because I'm in.
Yes. Also, age-wise, that would be more appropriate, probably.
That's probably more what it was.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Jessica Biel is probably the more conventionally attractive of the two.
Yeah, but boring.
Yeah. But, yeah, Lucy was my thing when I was a kid. But it was just... I don't know. Something about the show appealed to me, despite the fact that it's really lame and
We all like lame cheesy.
overly
Yeah.
wholesome.
Yeah.
Like, even as a 5-year-old, I watched the Care Bears ironically. I
Right.
am not the kid, and I never was the kid, who
Yeah.
just, liked family fun.
Right.
I was cynical as shit, even as a child.
So was I.
But something about Seventh Heaven worked for me. So we're gonna find out
It was
maybe
like
if
my
we
love
can...
for Boy Meets World.
Well, Boy Meets World is just fucking good.
It's just so good.
It's just so good.
Yeah, but you would consider that wholesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's also good.
It
Seventh
is so
Heaven,
good.
in my memory, isn't
I
good.
cannot wait. Are we watching the first 2 episodes? Is that what we're doing?
We can
Or
talk
you
about it.
pick your 2 favorites.
I don't... Oh, you know what?
Do that.
I have at least one in mind.
Oh, good. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we'll pick a assorted collection. Do you want to just do 2?
How many episodes? Are they half an hour or an hour?
Hour.
The 2.
2. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. We can always go back to stuff.
It was true. We can come back later in the years following this year.
But yeah, next week we're going to watch
Way to
Seventh
say
Heaven.
the future.
Also,
In the years following this year, Josh.
also, it should be noted that the Stephen Collins story,
No.
the main guy on Seventh Heaven.
Oh, yeah, the pedophile? Yeah.
So that should be...
You're right. There's even more to
that
talk about.
adds a little bit of subtext to it.
And Barry Watson had cancer.
I do know that. I just found that out last night. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know.
Mm-hmm. He had the same cancer I had.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
At the same
Did you
age.
lose your eyebrows?
No, my eyebrows didn't come out. I somehow didn't lose any of my hair. I lost a patch of my hair in
Yeah.
the back of my head.
That's
And
interesting.
it was it.
Fascinating.
Yeah. People would just be like, what's this?
Yeah.
What's this? I'd be like, oh, that's my cancer hair.
Yeah, I just remember being young, like, whenever that happened, like, seeing a lot of pictures of him, like, looking like he had alopecia, which is cancer. Yeah.
They told me my hair was going to come out. I expected it to.
Right.
I was ready to go ahead and cut it off when it started.
Yeah.
It just didn't.
Lucky
I was
boy.
weirdly, yeah. All right, so we're all getting ready for that. And remember, as always, if you like the show, please give us some of those 5-star reviews in whatever podcast app or service you are using. And tell your friends about us any way that you can, because we need you. Links to everything are in the description of this episode. Our Instagram is there, so you can see the photo of Satan holding on to Alexander Stone as a nuclear bomb of divinity hits him.
That's so good.
And you can also go to our website and send us a comment or a question so that we can get our mailbag going. As always, thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, everybody.
And bye.